Paul Wright said about Gay, Liverpool are playing it cool. Don't want Palace to think they're well up for buying him in January. Won't be expecting 25 mil then. So on that one, Paul, you've brought the Gay situation up, and something caught my eye initially in the echo on this one. And it said Liverpool set to play the waiting game for Mark Gay. So it said the echo understands that Liverpool are currently unlikely to submit a bid for Mark Gay in the next transfer window, given that he'll be available for a free. So I sat back and I thought about this, and I didn't know whether to believe it or not. But it makes sense. I've always known that Mark Gay didn't want the upheaval in a World Cup year. We've spoken about that previously. And yes, there will be clubs that will be in Mark Gay's ear, talking about the likes of Real Madrid, Barca, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, by the way. According to the Daily Star, are another club interested. So the Star said Manchester City will battle Liverpool, plus Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and others to sign Crystal Palace centre-back Mark Gay in January. So it got me thinking, well, are we being naive if we don't go back in January? Are we running a risk here that maybe we're going to miss out on the player? But then I read something a little bit later on in the day, and it was from Chris Bascom, and it made me feel a bit better about it. And Chris wrote, other clubs are believed to be ready to rival Liverpool for Mark Gay's signature, but haven't been given permission to meet the player, conduct a medical, and agree personal terms. Liverpool understand that Gay sees his long-term future at Anfield. So that's a bonus here, right? So if he does see his long-term future at Anfield, that's a good thing. Then Liverpool maybe can wait till the end of the season and get him on a free, as much as we would have to pay him a signing-on fee and probably increase wages. But where I think this starts to unravel a little bit is when we introduce Ibrahim Konate to the situation, because then it becomes a little bit more messy. So today we'd seen, again, a whole variation of reports around Konate and his future. One report said that Konate is on the list of Real Madrid, and that was from Fabrizio Romano, and is one of the players they would like to bring in next year. It will only happen if he doesn't extend his contract at Liverpool. They maintain their thoughts are active for Konate. Conversations remain ongoing between Liverpool and the player over a new deal. Romano said October, November last year it was verbally close. Then it changed to December/January. But something else caught my eye, and it was Chris Bascom, and he said the dialogue for Konate's contract has been ongoing and a new contract has been ready to sign for a while. Liverpool do not want another 10 months of uncertainty, but are pragmatic about the outcome. Now, the reason I'm trying to tie these two together are, there's another report that said that Liverpool don't want to lose Konate on a free. That's just something they don't want to do. So if he won't commit, there was talk of a potential sale in January. But here's where it all starts to unravel for me. If we're supposed to believe that Liverpool don't want to lose Konate for free and may make a sale possible in January, well, there's no way we're going to sell Konate and not bring in Mark Gay, right? Because then we'd be intentionally leaving ourselves short. So somebody's talking out their backside somewhere, because there's no world where we sell Konate in January, leave ourselves short for the second half of the season, which will be the business end of the season, to not bring in somebody else. So this is why I'm a little bit confused. Truthfully, don't know where we are with Konate's contract. Some reports in Spain in particular suggest that he's very close to finalising that move to Real Madrid. Where was it? The one I'm looking for. So there was one report that said that it was just the final details of Madrid's contract for Konate that is being sorted out, which I hope isn't the case, because that would be very, very concerning. So what do you guys think on it? I'm going to ask for the first poll of the night, and it's great to be back doing polls again, what you guys think on Konate's contract. So I just want to know, will Konate sign the new deal? Yes or no? And we'll work from there. Craig, what do you believe will happen with Konate? So I have to say that I'm not answering this question from a position of information. I'm just answering as a fan who's trying to piece it all together. I think he leaves, because if you look at it, Liverpool tried to bring in Mark Gay, so they must maybe have a fear about Konate's long-term future. We know Giovanni Leone was brought in for the long term, so he's going to be around for hopefully the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So I have to feel that Konate is edging towards the exit door. I wouldn't give up hope yet, Stevie boy, on a maybe extending, but my gut feeling is, unless Liverpool maybe give ground on the offer that they've sent to him, whether it's the amount of guaranteed money or the bonuses that are seemingly the problem, I don't know. But I do know I don't want to go through another season with what we're talking about already. Real Madrid, reports in Spain, and a whole year of will they or won't they. So I hope the club do make a definitive decision on it sooner or later. And, I just can't see a world now where you sell him in January. I just can't. In a World Cup year, will Konate want to move in January if he's not going to stay at Liverpool? Probably not, because he's going to forgo a hell of a lot of money then on signing for Madrid on a free contract. So I just don't think at this point selling him is feasible. So the only options now are renew or leave on a free for me. Now, the club may want to sell him in January, but if you're Konate, would you accept that? Knowing that, one, it's a World Cup year and you're trying to get into the French squad, so do you really want to move to a new club halfway through a season? Probably not. Also, like I mentioned, the financials of it, you'd be foregoing a fairly significant signing on fee that you'd get if you signed a pre-contract with the likes of Madrid in January. So, yeah, my gut feeling is that he leaves, but it's not based off anything other than a guess and some intuition. Crimbo82 said Konate is gone defo. Yeah, I'm probably leaning that way, but I don't want to come on here and say to anybody this is happening because I haven't got a clue. But my gut feeling is it's not looking great. Also, I think Konate is leaving, which is why Liverpool went after Gay hard. I like our future. So I agree with you on the future, mate. Absolutely. You bring in Mark Gay. That's a great bit of business for me if we get that one done. Giovanni Leone, of course, is still at the club. It remains to be seen what Joe Gomez's long-term future is, but Liverpool turned down the possibility of sending him to Palace on loan, so they seemingly think he's got an important role to play this year. And on Konate, yeah, my head is that he's probably going to go, but look, I don't want to write it off because it's not. I knew with Trent. I think everybody knew with Trent, but with Konate, I'm probably 70% that he's going to go, but I had info with Trent that made me feel like, yeah, he's going, but on this one, Amar said, if Konate leaves on a free, getting Gay on a free would be excellent. It would. Now remember, there's no such thing as a free really, mate. You would get a signing on bonus and stuff like that. Although, to be fair, if Konate extended, he'd have got a loyalty bonus as well. So, yeah, probably money they would have been spending. But here's where I have a bit of a problem with it. On the face of what you've said, Amar, no problem. But we have to be honest about this as well and know what we're going to be in for this season. So if Konate's situation drags on, we're going to have the Trent media stuff all over again. The whole season we'll be reading every single week about Madrid and Konate and how Alonso sees him playing here and how we'll be playing alongside this person, and it's tiring, which is why it would have been great if we had been able to get the Mark A stuff sorted, because I don't really care what anyone else says to me about this because I'm a diehard in this mindset. You're never getting the best of somebody if they're leaving at the end of the year. I'm not saying somebody can't be professional. They can. But you're never getting the best out of them. You're never going to have a player who's as focused as if their future is at the club. I think that's just human nature. So for me, that would be my concern. If Konate's form or he's not playing the way we know he can, what do we do? Does the manager have the ability within him to really make that decision to pull him out of the team? Would Giovanni Leone be ready to come in? Joe Gomez, it's a difficult call to make, but I'm really struggling to know where we're at with Leone. There's no doubt in my mind he's a huge talent, but until I start seeing him playing quite a bit, I really have difficulty believing he's a here and now player. And same with Rio Ngamoa. I've no problem believing Rio Ngamoa is going to be a star. I've no problem believing he'll be at Liverpool for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But I do have a problem in thinking that he is an actual 1 of 6 attacking option for us that the manager feels he can use every week if needs be. And I'm the same with Leone, because we're going to need to see these guys on the pitch, right? Now, we've seen enough of Rio Ngamoa to know he's got it. But again, it's about developing him correctly. But with Salah being away at the AFCON, with Chiesa, again, not really being match fit and kind of up in the air, I'm worried in that regard for the two younger players, if they're really thought of by the manager as ready, or are these signings for the future that are being dressed up as ones that are ready for the here and now?